Hello, Virgo. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, Virgo. So, yeah, you've had enough of a ridiculous situation or a person acting in that way. And I think that you may be being a little bit more nice than what you could be. Like, you could really hand this person their ass. But I think that you're coming from a place of wisdom, though. But then for some of you, I also feel like your intuition is telling you that it's time for you to stand up to somebody right now, especially if they're like causing you to not be able to enjoy your own life or the connection that you have with them. So, nonsense. It's time to talk sense, and then you have deep knowing. Deep knowing is going to be like the high priestess here. It is about trusting what the intuition is telling you. But the thing is I kind of get this feeling of wisdom when it comes to understanding why someone is acting the way that they are, but enough is enough. So when you look at nonsense, it talks about you standing up to someone who is behaving in a stupid way. And that's basically it. You know, it's time for you to no longer be intimidated by another person. They need to know the way that they're acting is ridiculous. But I think that you are coming from a place of understanding, like I said, why they're being this way. But your intuition is also telling you if this continues, you may not be able to have fun with this connection anymore, this situation. It's like a damper. And that it kind of shows up with this too, because I look at this and think, yeah, you need to be more confident. Yes, but it's more about having fun though too and enjoying things. And if somebody is constantly being a Debbie Downer and they're acting like an idiot, then yeah, now is the time to put them in their place. Right? But like I said, I think that you're being nice about it. So the new moon in Leo, confidence is your key to success. The very first thing it says is make time to have fun. So Virgo needs to have fun. You can't continuously stay in a situation where somebody is making you feel bad. You know, now is the time to point out how they're acting. It says, it's time for you to show the world what you've got, shine your light, have some pride, spoil yourself, you've earned it. And it also says that you've turned someone's head. So you may be getting some attention here because of your confidence, right? So it has taken a lot for you to kind of like maintain this situation here. And I think that that's what the Four of Pentacles is pointing out, besides hanging on to things here. I also think that this situation may have to do with money. So the Ace of Wands being the overall here, we are talking about a new beginning here. And I've been seeing a lot of this lately. And it's not just one new beginning. It's been two for a lot of different people. With the Ace of Wands, and then I look back at like the Page of Wands and think there needs to be excitement. Passion needs to like start over here. But, you know, with the way that you come out on this, yeah, I absolutely do think that there is a possibility here to renew a relationship with someone. But things are not easy right now. So, like I was saying with the Four of Pentacles here, we've been trying to maintain things. And I think that it's been extremely hard for you, especially if you've been trying to maintain the finances. I don't think that you're holding on to anything too tightly at all. The Queen of Swords moving into the present moment with the Six of Pentacles. Here is where I think the argument starts to come through. If you are arguing with someone about money right now, they are not handling it well, and I don't think that they know how to handle you in the way that you communicate, because I don't think that you're intentionally trying to be like mean about it or like a bitch, right? So, like I said, there's this feeling of you being really nice about the situation when you could be a lot more harsh. Okay, again, whether you're male or female, or whether you're dealing with male or female, possibly air sign. But I kind of look at this as I'm tired of giving and having to maintain things on my own. I need your support. That's what I feel like is going on here. And we could be talking about money, who is paying the bills, you know, who is helping financially. And I think that you are having this conversation and you're doing it in a way where you're letting this person know that enough is enough. We cannot do this anymore. I'm having a hard time holding on to my strength here to maintain this. The Five of Swords. This bothers me because I think that, this person does not know how to communicate to you. Clearly you do with the Queen of Swords. And again, we're coming from a place of understanding and wisdom. But I also think that you are done being emotionally supportive here because I think that this person really needs to hear the truth from you. The problem is the way that they respond with the Five of Swords isn't very nice, but I do think that, they're eventually going to have to apologize. And I kind of see that happening in terms of what's going on with your outcome here. But communication here is a problem with this person. It's almost like everything that you say to them, they turn it around in a way that fits the way that they see things, but that's not actually the truth. What you want here is a new beginning with this person. With the Ace of Wands, there's enough passion there to want to start over again, but we also need the emotional connection coming out. But I think it's definitely there for you. With the Seven of Wands being your best path to follow, absolutely. This is going to be about, I'm not going to let this knock me down anymore because I understand that you're coming from a place of seeing things, your own way and not being open to understanding what my intention is here. So this reminds me of a saying that I've heard a lot, right? So intentions don't mean anything if somebody perceives something in a certain way. But I don't think that that's fair. And I think that that's what you're dealing with here. So this isn't just somebody who is purposely being combative. They're really like using words in a way to hurt you because they perceive you as you being unnecessarily cruel to them, but that isn't the truth. But like I said, it's about the equal give and take. For some of you, it is going to be about money and what's going on there. But this is saying, if there is enough passion here to want to start over with this person, we can't let this kind of conversation be what stops everything. The Hermit, I think that in terms of fear here, this is going to be not so much about isolation, but more so like having to separate yourself from the situation and like having to deal with things on your own again. That's what I feel like. I feel like this is an ongoing situation with someone. And I think that, you've been in a place where you've kind of been doing things on your own anyway. But the thing is we want to have a better connection with the person that we're with. Unfortunately, they don't know how to communicate. And they're lucky that, and this is just from my perspective, I think that they're damn lucky that they haven't pissed you off any further. And that you're coming from a place that, is much nicer than what you could be. But with the Ace of Cups coming out, absolutely this could be about them realizing that the way that they have been, treating you and the way that they have been like speaking to you is wrong. Maybe wanting to apologize for that or make that situation right and realize that, there very much is a lot of love there, right? So we're looking at a beginning here where there is the emotional fulfillment rather than the drain, hopefully. Now, because the Three of Cups, right, unfortunately, this one kind of looks like somebody is turning their attention somewhere else. But I think that for you, especially because of the Oracle cards, it's one of those things where I can't keep emotionally investing in something that I'm not getting anything out of, especially if this is the way that this person is acting. Some of you might actually be having a new beginning somewhere else, and I'm just being honest here. But if you're looking to renew things here, this could indicate that, we need to support each other a little bit better, especially with what's going on. The Queen of Pentacles and looking at the Four of Pentacles, this is what I was talking about before. This is like you coming into this going, I'm tired of maintaining things on my own, right? It's taken a lot of strength for you to kind of like take care of everything, and again, whether you're dealing with male, female, you've got earth, you've got air, and none of that matters to me, and with you being your hopes and fears, I think that this is what you're used to. Not so much that, you go into isolation or hermit mode, but You know, Virgo does have a tendency to overthink things, but I don't think that that's the case. I think that you've kind of like let this situation go long enough. But like I said, there's this feeling of, you know, with this being you, that you've been doing things on your own long enough. You know, where are you? Where is the support? Where is the equal give and take? Where is the help financially? But I think that you're making it very clear that you're not playing games here. And with the Eight of Cups, you know, there is a part of you emotionally that is done with the situation. You are considering moving on, or at least having this conversation. Now, with the Three of Cups, right, this could be, like I said, you know, for you, Virgo, I almost think that this is, I'm going to turn my attention somewhere else. But if this is about the other person doing this, I think that, you know, for you, you're going to be looking at, you know, trying to create a new beginning for yourself that is going to, you know, refill your cup, so to speak. But I also think for some Virgos, this may be you turning your attention somewhere else, because if you're not getting emotional fulfillment where you're at and you're tired of being alone, then yeah, had enough of this. Had enough of this. I've tried to communicate with you. Clearly you don't understand and you would rather be a dick, so I'm going to move on. And that can be the case. Now, on the other hand, for some of you, it could be about being more supportive. It just depends on your situation here. But either way, we're looking at the Ace of Cups coming out. There is a new beginning for you. Whether or not it's going to be with the person you're dealing with is another question entirely. But whatever the opposition is in dealing with this, it cannot stop you from having happiness, excitement, passion, and emotional fulfillment in your life. You cannot let it. All right, let's take a look at the soul trees and see what's going on. You know, and I almost want to say that this person doesn't even realize how lucky they are to have you. You know, here's the thing though, in Virgo, I feel like if this is your situation, again, you know, this isn't going to be for everybody. It's if it is resonating with your situation. With be open, the thing is you're already coming in that way about this situation. I think that maybe we need to set different intentions that shows more compassion to yourself so that you can be open to other possibilities. That's just me being truthful. But I also think that you've been by far more understanding than maybe what this person deserves. But what is your intention with this situation? What are the intentions for moving forward? You know? But I do think that compassion is saying that you've been compassionate, but maybe you haven't been compassionate enough to yourself. Like, seriously. But you're going to have to be open to setting better intentions, though, too. And then appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. If you are continuously asking for support and not getting it, then maybe we need to start asking for assistance somewhere else. But appreciate the fact that this moment is going to give you an opportunity to grow and find love. I don't know, Virgo. I feel like for some of you, this is going to hit home in a way where you're going to feel like, yeah, I've had about enough of this. I can't handle this situation anymore. And I think that you may have to look at possibly, you know, where you're going to get the support and the assistance that you need. And it doesn't mean that, you know, we're cheating or we're looking for another relationship, but we need something to fill the gap emotionally, you know. But don't be afraid to ask for help from your friends, definitely, with that Three of Cups coming out though too. But have more compassion for yourself, and certainly don't let this situation put you in a place where you're not willing to fight for your own happiness.